Are you struggling to cut a clean and well-fitted bustier blouse? In this video, I'll show you a simple method that works perfectly to enable me sew this perfect blouse for my clients. So let's get started. So these are the materials I used: 1.5 yard of bridal satin, 1.5 yard of lining, 1.5 yards of luxury lace, and a local pad. So let's draft our pattern. So this is our drafting paper. We've drawn all the lines. So we placed our tape from -5 since it is an off-shoulder blouse. So from -5 we took the breast point of 11, under bust 15, through waist length 18, and the full length of the blouse 26 plus 1.5 inches for bust dart alteration. So 26 plus 1.5 gave us 27.5. Then we have the bust span measurement, also known as the nipple to nipple measurement, as 4 inches. So next we are going to contour what we have. We are not going to do anything at the bust point, but at the under bust where I placed my tape, we are going to take 2 inches, while for the center panel we are going to mark 1 inch. So after marking 2 inches and 1 inch respectively, we are not going to mark any other thing up till the down part. Okay, next we'll go to the bust point. At that bust point line, go up by 1 inch and come down by 1 inch. Okay, so mark 1 inch downwards, 1 inch upwards. So after marking, we are going to place our armhole curve at that 1 inch we came down by, and then connect it to that 1 inch for the middle panel, just the way I placed it. That is how you are going to place yours. Then for the side that we took 2 inches for the under bust contouring, flip your ruler and then contour that part by drawing that curve. Next, we are going to use our pattern master to connect it from that under bust and take it to the bust span line, just the way I placed it. Make sure it doesn't have any gaping. Draw your line on both sides. So place your ruler very well and then draw the line to join to the bust span line. So after drawing that line, I'll go to the upper part and then contour the upper part. So for the upper part, we are going to avoid gaping. To achieve that, we are going to contour the upper part. So for the side part, I am going to take 2 inches. After marking 2 inches, I'm going to use my hole curve and then connect it. Remember, for the bust point, we came up by 1 inch. Target that 1 inch and contour it to the 2 inches. So for the side panel, we are not going to remove anything. Okay, so next we are going to take our fixing of hand after sewing, which means after joining the panel, the center panel and the side panel, we are going to fix our sleeve. At the point where we are going to fix our sleeve, we are going to take the measurements. So for the upper part, we are going to replace that 2 inches and then we are going to add half an inch. So we marked 2.5. So after that, go a little bit far from that point and then mark 3.5 inches. From that 3.5 inches, use your pattern master to connect it to that 2.5 inches we took. So after connecting it, we are going to take our measurements on that line. Okay, so that line now becomes our chest line. So we are marking 11 1/4 for the bust circumference. We are replacing it with that 2.5 inches, and then we are going to add our regular seam allowance of 2 inches. So next we are going to take the under bust circumference of 858. So place your tape at the under bust and then mark 858. After marking 858, we are going to check. We have 1 inch and 2 inches for the contouring, which is 3. We are going to replace it, and then we are going to add our 2 inches seam allowance. So next we are going to take the true waist circumference of 9 inches. So after marking the 9 inches, we are going to check what we contoured, which is 238. After marking 238, we are going to add our regular allowance of 2 inches. So after marking, we are going to go to the hip line. So on the hip line, we are going to impute the hip circumference of 11 inches. After marking 11 inches, we do not have any contouring that is affecting that area. So we are going to add our regular 2 inches seam allowance. So after marking, we are going to use our pattern master to connect from the bust to the under bust to the true waist and then to the hip circumference. So next we are going to contour the bust dart. So to achieve that, from the bust point at that side area, come down by 1.5. After marking 1.5, we are going to use our pattern master to connect it to the bust point. So just the way I placed my pattern master, that is exactly how you are going to contour yours. Place your pattern master and draw a straight line down to the bust point. So next we are going to take the neck depth for the front. So I placed my tape again from -5 and then I marked the neck depth of 8.5. So after marking 8.5, I am going to use my armhole curve to connect it from the side area down to the bust point. So see where I placed it, connect yours like that and then get your neck depth. Okay, so after connecting, we are going to cut what we have all out. And so after cutting the front panel, see what I did? I placed the two front panel. Now because of the contouring and the neck depth that we dropped, we are going to have shortage while joining the center panel and the side panel. So to avoid that, I have to place the pattern back to check what is going to be shortened. So I realized that we are going to be shortened by 1 inch. Okay, see the center piece that I placed, so I have to place another paper at the center panel. Okay, under the center panel, use my masking tape to gum it. Then after that, I am going to remark that upper part with that 1 inch. So see what I did? I had to place nipple to nipple and then turn it, let it align as if I am joining it. So from that upper part, I am going to make the curve and sink it into the center panel, which is the neck depth. So I'm going to cut what I have out. After cutting it, I am going to place it again to see if I will still have shortage. This is to enable us not to have shortage while joining the center panel and that of the side panel. So you see, it is now equal. So we are going to draft the back pattern. It is time to draft the back panel. So we have drawn all our lines. We have our zipper allowance of 1.5. We placed our tape from 5 -5. We got our bust point, under bust, through waist, the full length plus half an inch seam allowance. So next we are going to take the fixing of sleeve. To fix the sleeve, we said we are using 9 inches, which is on fold 4.5, and we marked 5 inches for the sleeve fixing. So from that point, we went down again and then we marked 4 inches and then we connected that line. That is the armhole circumference, okay, which is bust point minus 2 inches. 11 minus 2 gave us 9. So from -5, we came down by 4.5. So next, we are going to take the neck depth 1 inch and then we'll connect it to the neck width. Okay, so after connecting, we are going to do alteration for the zipper area. So at the true waist, we are going to go inwards by 1 inch, and then from that 1 inch we are going to connect it downwards. Just place your ruler in a slant form and connect it to the zipper line. Do the same from the waist, connect it to the zipper line again at the top most part, okay, just the way I did. Then from the true waist that you went in by 1 inch, start taking your 1.5 inches seam allowance, just the way I am marking it. So after marking, use your ruler to join all your dots that you have marked. So this is to avoid the zipper bulge at the back side of the zipper, so that it will fit properly when the client wears the outfit. Okay, so we are going to connect all the lines that we've dotted with our pattern master. So after connecting all the lines, that line, the center line, now becomes our new zipper allowance line. Okay, so that is what I'm writing, zipper allowance. So next we are going to take our body measurements. So the body measurement we are going to take the bust circumference of 11 1/4. So from the new zipper allowance line, mark your 11 1/4, add your 2 inches seam allowance, go to the under bust measurements, mark your under bust measurement of 8 1/4, which we have from the new zipper allowance line, 8 1/4, add your 2 inches seam allowance. Next, go to the true waist, mark 9 inches, which is what we have, and then add the 2 inches seam allowance. Then we'll mark the hip circumference of 11 1/4, and then we'll add our 2 inches seam allowance. After that, we are going to use our pattern master to connect all the lines from the bust to the under bust to the true waist and then to the blouse hip measurement. Okay, so after joining all the lines, we are going to take our dart intake. So at the under bust, we are going to mark 4.5. Use your bust span measurement to mark. So I used 4.5, and then I'm going to draw a straight line from the under bust all the way down, the chest line all the way down. Okay, so after marking, I'm going to place my tape from -5, and then I'm going to mark 8 inches. Then I'm going to extend my dart line to that 8 inches. You can extend it to 0.6 if you want. So at the true waist, I'm going to take half inch on both sides in order for me to contour that on the waist area. Okay, so I'll use my pattern master to connect all the lines. After connecting all the lines, that 1 inch we took will not affect the measurement because we added 2 inches. So it is time for us to cut what we have all out. After cutting, we are done with the drafting process. So next, it's time for us to place our pattern on our fabric to cut. So I don't want this video to be too long, so I'm going to make a part 2 of the sewing video. Okay, so thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and watch the next video on your screen to learn more from Lois other sewing tutorials. Until I see you in my next video, bye.